Today I am with Angel Castillo, who is a Ogden City Planning Commissioner who's running for mayor right now. So I've heard that public safety is a priority to you. Could you
huge.
elaborate on that?
It's absolutely huge. Public safety is incredibly important because if you don't, as a citizen, feel that you can go anywhere in the city and have dinner, walk, buy things, ride your bike, enjoy the outdoors, if you don't feel like you're protected and you're safe, that doesn't do anybody any good. And Ogden had a history of being 15, 20 years ago a really rough place. And a lot of that has changed, and that is fantastic. And we have an amazing police force, but our police force is overworked and underpaid, and we are losing seasoned officers at an alarming rate to Salt Lake City and Salt Lake County. And while you always have new officers coming in, you need to make sure that you have a good balance of officers with experience, because there's something that happens at about 5 years with an officer where that officer knows that this shoulder drop means one thing, this respiration rate change means another, and I can do or say this and I can mitigate this situation. I can talk this person down and we can go to a positive outcome of this experience, right? When you're new, you've never experienced any of those things before, and you may do or say the wrong things, which is why you pair new officers with senior officers as they're starting to learn the ropes. And we are currently understaffed. Mayor Caldwell said at the last debate erroneously that we're fully staffed. We are not. We have 142 certified officer positions, and in our entire history, we have never been staffed to 142. This is actually a management problem. The top two positions are left open so that they have room for overtime in their budget. And as a business person, that tells me then you're not properly staffed. Then you need to look at your budget, and you either need to trim it or change it to make sure that you're covering these overtime overages. And on top of that, we lost 2 officers this week. One is retired and one has gone to UTA. And then we have somewhere between 10 and 15 officers that are in various stages through the academy. And so Caldwell is counting those as operational. They're not. We don't have them. They're not in cars and they're not working, and they won't be for 6 months. And as this 6-month period goes, we're going to have other people that are going to retire. We have other people that are going to leave because they're making $7 to $10 an hour more in other cities. We have this huge pay deficit that is wrong. We need to me, our officers are infrastructure. We need to be able to have a police force that is visible and available and have enough staff to be able to do walkable beats so that citizens know their officers and their names, and they have their work cell phone numbers so that they can participate in keeping their community safe. Nobody wants gangs. Nobody wants drugs in their neighborhood. I don't care what neighborhood. I don't care how rich you are or how poor you are. You don't want those things. And our neighborhoods that need us the most don't have officers to walk the beat because we're understaffed, underpaid, overworked, and I plan to change that immediately coming into office. There are easy solutions for that. Our current budget right now, just looking at the budget, last year we spent $4.5 million on mainframe computer management services for the city. We don't need a mainframe. We can buy that time, and we look at a city of Roy, which is somewhat comparable in size. They pay $500,000 a year for their mainframe time.
Interesting.
And so this is kind of piggybacking into what that's the way we've always done it. We need to have a fresh set of eyes looking at our budget and fix our overspending problems so that we can lean up, trim some of that fat, and put that budget where it matters most to our community. And for me, the number one thing is public safety. I want to make sure that our officers are well compensated so that they can stay here instead of having to feel they need to go to another city because they have kids and they've got college to pay and they've got food to put on the table. I don't fault them for that at all. We need to shore up that gap. And we're spending way too much money buying commercial property that isn't giving a return on investment. Are you familiar with the Rite Aid sites on Monroe?
Not yet.
Well, basically, it's about 10 acres that we own that has been empty for years because we can't. The current administration cannot build the relationship to bring a developer in to work and build something and provide housing or business on the bottom. I mean, it's right next to a transit stop. That's what we want. We want commercial on the bottom, and we want some higher density in that particular area because it's a little more urban. It's not a single family neighborhood, and it's on a transit line. That's what we need to help. We need to start thinking 10, 15 years from now as we continue to grow. We need to make sure we have public transportation opportunities for people so that our roads aren't so congested, because that's coming and we need to plan for that. We need to preserve what we have and plan for what we need, and we need to actively participate with the community in that process so that what we're building and where we're putting things meets the needs of the community, rather than just like, that's happening. No, you need to talk to the community, you need to find out what they need, and then you need to work with developers that are going to come on board and spread the risk. We've spent $50 million buying commercial property with no return on investment. The Rite Aid property is one of them. The Hostess site is one of them. The Swift building is one of them. And there's more to that. That's just the easily found data points of money that we have spent from Ogden. There's more, but the budget's 400 pages and it's really challenging. This is something that I want to hire some retired executives that have government experience and that are CPAs to really dig into it and go, this is what you spent, and did it return on investment? If it didn't return on investment, then we need to move that property. We either need to sell it or we need to find a developer to make that happen, because we have more important things that we have to support our community with, and that has everything to do with public safety, and I'm going to go right into potholes. I get this all the time. It's like, why do we have so many problems with potholes in the streets? Part of it is that we have a freeze thaw, so we're going to go through it a lot faster than dry places like Las Vegas do. But the problem is that we have not, as a city, set aside the appropriate number for maintenance to repair these things. At this particular moment, there are $20 million of what are called priority sidewalks. I'm sure you've seen them. They're like this, and they have yellow sprayed around them, right? That is just a save on legal liability, but it's not really. Just last year, we had somebody slip and fall and break a leg, and in the 10 months that it took for that case to get to court, the city didn't fix it. It would have cost $6,000 to fix that strip. The city didn't fix it. And when we got to court and the plaintiff said, this is what happened, and I'm seeking $300,000 in damages, the judge went, have you fixed this yet? And the city went, no, and the judge went, full award. $300,000 of your tax dollars went to pay for something that Ogden was negligent at, and we right now have $20 million worth of liability around the city.
Wow.
Existing. And yet, we're spending money on commercial development. We're in negotiation for property behind Union Station. We have a spending problem. And we need to make sure our infrastructure is taken care of and quality of life issues are addressed for people. And we need to help bolster our local businesses so that we can, if they do well, we get more taxes, right? It's a win-win.
Right. Wow, I did not know that. That's so fascinating.
Yeah. This is something that you would learn as a planning commissioner, because the city engineers will talk to you because you're a planning commissioner.
Right.
And that's another thing that I'd like to address with, if you don't know somebody in the city, you have no idea where to start to get what you need. We need a point person that has a printer, that has been educated on who does what in what departments, and you can either come into City Hall or you can pick up and call on the phone and go, I need a permit for, what are you building? Okay, so you'll need this and this and this and this, and here's the person you talk to, and here's the printout, and if check back with me in 2 weeks if you have any problems, and if not, then this is the next stage you'll have to go through, and this is the next stage you'll have to go through. You should have a packet of all of the things. What happens now in development is, here, you need to do this, and then you do this, and then, oh, well, now you need to do that. And, oh, you needed to schedule this inspection, and you can't get this piece until you schedule that inspection with the fire department. You should have that all in one place. You should go, here's what you're going to need, check down the list, call me if you have any problems. I mean, we need a person in each department that does just that. so that we can get citizens in and out of City Hall, get them the permits that they need, and get them up and running with whatever they're doing for business or home building.
That is so interesting. I did not know that there's so much to potholes and
Right?
all these other things. That's incredible.